Hi friends, welcome back to Super Sunita's Happy World channel. Today I am here to narrate another interesting story written by Mrs.Sudha Murthy. The title of the story is Two Faces of Poverty. So let's get started, friends. Leela has been working in my office for many years. She sweeps, dusts, and mops. She does her work quietly and takes on any extra work without any complaints. Since she was so quiet and I was usually very busy, I did not know much about her personal life apart from the fact that her husband had deserted her and she was bringing up three daughters single handedly. One day, she came in to clean my office and after doing her work, stood hesitantly in front of me. It was such an uncharacteristic thing for her to do that I was surprised. Slowly, she brought out a soiled bundle and put it in front of me. Then she said in a low voice, "Madam, can you lend me 20,000 rupees?" I was still puzzled and asked, "What happened, Leela? Why do you suddenly need so much money?" She replied, "My youngest daughter wants to join college and I need the money for that." While she was explaining, I opened the cloth bundle. Inside, there was a pair of worn out gold bangles. "Why are you giving this to me, Leela?" I asked. "These are the only assets I have. I will do anything to see my daughter's studies further. She's very bright. She wants to become an engineer." I could make out the pride in her voice when she spoke of the girl. But when has a mother not seemed the best and the brightest to her mother? So I told Leela, "Take back these bangles. I'm not a money lender. I want to meet your daughter and talk to her myself. Ask her to come and meet me with her school marks cards." The next day, a pretty girl in ordinary but clean clothes was waiting for me in the office. Her face was bright with intelligence, and as soon as I entered, she stood up politely. "Madam, I'm Leelama's daughter." She introduced herself. "My name is Girija. My mother said you wanted to talk to me." Then she placed her marks cards in front of me. I was taken aback to see the high marks she had scored consistently. She also had numerous extracurricular activity certificates. No wonder Leela was so proud of her and wanted to pledge her bangles for her. I looked again at her closely. She was fair and her face was as clear as dew. That seemed strange as Leela was short and dark. We talked for a few more minutes and I could make out Girija's fondness for her mother and sisters in her words. I sent her back and called Leela. "Leela, I met your other two daughters when they came to the office sometimes. But I'm very impressed after meeting Girija. There is something about her that sets her apart. You were right, she is very bright. I will help her you with the fees. If she performs well, I will give her entire course fees. She has it in her to change her future if she continues to work hard." I was talking while clearing my desk, and only I had spoken for so long that I realized that Leela was standing without saying a word. Finally, she said, "I need to tell you something before you proceed with your help. Girija is not my child. I have adopted her." I was amazed. "When? Why?" I asked. She signed. "It's a long story. Many years ago, I was working for a young girl. She was staying by herself. Her parents were in the US, and she was supposed to go to them after finishing her studies. I was a cook in the house. The girl was good looking and quite friendly. Often boys and girls would be at her house, and there was a lot of fun, music, laughter, and partying. One day, I found the girl I looking worried and sad. She would often talk to me, so I asked her what the matter was. She confessed that she was pregnant. The boy who was responsible had gone abroad soon after hearing the news, and she was left in the lurch. She did not dare to tell her parents, and it was too late for an abortion. What could I do after hearing such a story? I looked after her through her pregnancy, cooking the best foods. She gave birth to a baby girl in a nursing home here. All the while, no one but me knew about the situation. Soon after the baby was born, she told me to take it and put it in an orphanage. I tried, but holding the tiny baby in my arms, I found myself unable to give her away and decided to bring her up. I already had 2 daughters, and my husband had deserted me. But I knew I would always find enough to share with this new soul. That girl is Girija. I was dumbstruck by Leela's story and her courage and generosity. The crushing poverty of her life had not diminished the humanity within her. Yet not all children are fortunate enough to find a Leela to take care of them. There are others whose stories of cruelty and neglect can amaze the most cynical of people. One such unfortunate child was Somnath. Usually I try not to give money to individual parents. Instead, we give it to a hospital where they take care of the needy at nominal prices. Once I made an exception and have regretted it ever since. It started one day. Ramapa came to me. He was standing in the reception, arguing with my secretary, who did not want to let him in without an appointment. Since he was already in, I did not see any point in turning him away and asked him in. His son, he said, was suffering from cancer and needed urgent surgery. He was a clerk and could in no way afford the rupees 2 lakhs needed. I looked at all the papers and medical certificates he had got with him. Then I told him to get some more papers: proof of hospitalization, pathological report, estimation of the operation, his ID in the hospital, etc. I also wanted the doctor's name so that I can talk to him. Ramapa thought for a while, then said, "All right, I will bring the papers tomorrow." But the next day, Ramapa turned up holding a child by the hand. The boy was obviously very sick and it made a pathetic sight. I was furious that he had dragged the child all the way to my office in this condition. "Why did you get him?" I asked. "I only wanted to see some papers." Ramapa was ready with his reply. "It would take me a few days to get all the papers you wanted, so I got the child as proof." I felt sorry for Somnath and wrote out a check for rupees 25,000. Ramapa said, "Can you give me a letter that you have given me this money? I can show it to other donors. If they see your name, they too will agree to help me." I could see nothing wrong in writing such a letter and gave it to him. Ramapa thanked me wholeheartedly and went away promising to let me know how the operation went. But there was no news from him and a year passed. We too forgot about Ramapa till the auditors were doing their work, and I realized that Ramapa had not called nor sent any other papers or receipts of the operation. I called up the hospital he had mentioned and wanted to know if they had operated on any child called Somnath that year. I was sad to hear that they hadn't. Perhaps Ramappa could not raise all the money, I thought, and berated myself for not helping him more or following up on the case. I decided to go and meet him. I still had the address that he had given me. When I found the place, it was locked. It was a big three-storied building in the latest style with plenty of tiles and granite. It was by far the grandest house in the locality. Having come so far, I did not want to go without finding out more about Somnath, so I knocked on the next door. An old lady came out and was least taken aback to find a stranger at her door asking questions. She talked freely to me. Where are Ramappa and Somnath? I asked her. Somnath died 6 months ago. I was saddened, but not surprised. The old woman was meanwhile chatting away. Somnath's disease came as a boon for Ramappa. He got a letter from some famous lady who gave him 25,000 rupees for the operation. With that, he went around to other donors and managed to raise rupees 8 lakhs. He used the money to build this new house and also started an auto business. Now he's doing very well in life. But didn't he get Somnath's operation done? Ramappa was no fool to get him operated. He was least bothered about it. In the end, he used to carry him around when he went to collect the money. Poor Somnath suffered a lot and died at home. I was dumbstruck. By then, a man appeared from inside and told the old lady not to talk. But she replied fiercely, "Why should I not talk? I saw Somnath from the day he was born. I saw him suffer. God will certainly not forgive Ramappa for what he had done to his own son." I had got to know enough by then and took my leave. I found myself in tears as I walked to the car. All I could do was to thank God that there are still people like Leela in this world. They lessen the pain and suffering inflicted by people like Ramappa, of whom unfortunately there are plenty. So, friends, this is the story. I'm sure you must also have appreciated the story and understood the in depth meaning of the story as much as I did. I'm sure it will inspire many people to help others and especially those in needy, and also to think twice before helping people, because you have to help the people who need it and not the people who are very greedy for money. With this note, I say bye for now, only for this video. I'll come with another interesting story and another interesting videos. Thank you so much for watching, friends.